Good morning, children. This is Samir Ramzan. Today I am going to teach 10th class English. That is Unit 5 B reading. The Storeyed House Part 2, and it is the second half. Storeyed House Part 2, and first half we have completed, and in the second part only, second half we are going to know that, children. Let us see that in the previous class you came to learn that village people they came that, and they did Kondiba Patil, Bujaba, and some other people they came to the housewarming ceremony of Bayaji, and there what happened, they happened to see that, and Bayaji offered betel leaves and some other, but they did not take, they refused and they gave it back to Bayaji. This was the situation. I'm coming to the paragraph, children. You open the textbook and I'm coming to the paragraph, next paragraph. Otherwise I'm coming to the another 2 lines paragraph. That it is, you see that Bayaji fed all his guests with a meal of shira and puri, along with betel nuts, items of gossip roiled over their tongues, and then the session of social devotional songs began. Social devotional songs began. That paragraph. Next paragraph, you see that among the bhajan singers, Kalekar Bapu, master, has a superior voice, and next one is Kadegonkar Bua was better at classical singing. Devotional songs were sung in praise of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar and Lord Buddha. People swayed their heads in appreciation as the program gathered momentum. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Bayaji was strutting about in the pandal. He sat down by a guest now and then to inquire after his welfare. Small children, that is unable to resist sleep, had dropped off like bundles of rags. Women sat in the front veranda, and Bayaji's children were busy preparing tea for a second round. They had put tea powder and sugar into a pot on a trenched stove and waited for the water to boil. The bhajan was in full swing. I had a dream at night, and my heart was full of feeling, went the line. So the bhajan people, they are devotionally going to sing the songs, and the children, Bayaji's children, they are going to prepare the tea and something for the second round of taking tea, because it was the midnight, and all were very busy. Small children, they were ready to go to the sleep. And one line of the song, it is given to you in translation. I had a dream at night, and my heart was full of feeling. It is a line in a song. Next paragraph says, the group advanced from baseless devotionals. Like from the east came a horde of ghosts, each one with 7 heads, to social devotionals. This is also another song. That song line it was. Next you see that Kolekar Bapu master's powerful voice rose up. Take to heart the sweet advice of Bhimaraya, and there is a Bhimaraya, and bow down to Buddha. For the emancipation of the whole world, I fly to the refuge of Lord Buddha. I fly to the refuge of the faith. I fly to the refuge of the faithful. The song rent the air, filling it with joy. And then the undreamt of incident took place. All were very deep devotional song, and song lines are translated in this paragraph. And later what happened, it was an unexpected incident, it took place at that busy time. What happened, you see that Bayaji's new house had caught fire from all sides. It had suddenly flared up. The women folk in the front veranda screamed in confusion. The guests stood up swiftly and began to pull out the women like a herd of cattle. So the people, they were in tension and tense. All people, they were running here and there. It was caught fire. The new house was caught fire. That was unfortunate incident. It occurred there. Next paragraph, you see that Bayaji was frantic. He was in a worry. He ran around crying like this. My house, my storied house, it is on fire. My enemy has taken revenge on me. He entered the roaring flames, crying, my house, my house. He climbed up, pulled the pictures of Buddha and Baba Sahib from the walls and hurled them down. As he was about to come down the stairs, it crumbled down in flames. People pulled up water from a nearby well to put out the dreadful fire, but it could not be easily contained. Bayaji jumped down. He jumped down. Quick, jump! People shouted. Women and children were crying and screaming. Now that the staircase had collapsed, no one could go up. Scorched in the flames, Bayaji ran around like a trapped creature, howling all the time, "My house, my house." So Bayaji was like a trapped creature. He was alone on the floor in the storied house, and down people were shouting, screaming there like that. And the staircase also, it was collapsed. Now he was alone on the upper floor. And then the upper store itself came down with a crash, and along with it Bayaji, with a resounding thud. Thud means it is the sound, a rubber sound, which falls down. People pulled him out. They pulled him out when it was collapsed. Next paragraph you see, Bayaji was burnt all over. He was still wailing, "My house, my house." Bayaji's children encircled him and cried their hearts out. They were crying biggerly, that was crying out the people. The guests were busy putting out the fire. All Bayaji's hopes had been reduced to ashes. What was the use of putting out of the fire now? So that all ashes, that house was in ashes. And what was the use of putting out of the fire now? It was a question. Bayaji was badly burnt and he was in great agony. He was severe in pain. He asked for water all the time. As his eyes began to roll in his head, his eldest son moved closer, gulped down the sorrow that was surging in his throat, and asked, "Nana, what is your last wish?" That eldest son came and asked because he knows that his father, he will be no more. That is why he went very close to him and asked that, "No, what is your last wish?" He said, "Bayaji, sons, I want you to build a storied house. I have no other wish." With these words, his head collapsed like the storied house. Bayaji was quiet and the fire too had calmed down. That is the scene. Totally it was fallen down, and Bayaji, his head was collapsed. Bayaji's mother wept bitterly. "Your father passed away without giving me a burial. At last your hands should have pushed the dust over my dead body. Bayaji, speak to me." She was mad with grief. Bayaji's mother was very old, 80 years old, and she was crying for her son. Bayaji's wife was sobbing heart out, crying repeatedly, "Who has done this evil to us? Let the house burn to cinders. Save my husband first." She was crying like that. And the entire family was shattered by the calamity. The spirits of all the men were dampened like a cooking fire on which water has been poured. So just like pouring the water on cooking stove and cooking fire. It was the scene like that here. Very bad, unfortunate situation. In the morning, the village officers and witnesses visited the place to record the facts of the accident. Bayaji's death was the result of an accident due to a Petromax flare-up, was their conclusion. So in the morning, that people came, that government officials came there to report that, and they finalized that it was happened, that it occurred due to the Petromax lights outburst, the flare-up of. You see next paragraph. After the funeral, people returned hanging their heads. All of them were painted at heart to think that having come to celebrate the housewarming, they had the misfortune to attend the funeral of the host. So instead of attending the housewarming ceremony, the people those who came to this house ceremony, unfortunately, they had to attend the funeral ceremony. All were sitting in a sullen mood in the pandal. When Bayaji's eldest son came out with 3 or 4 baskets, a spade, a pickaxe, and a hoe, he outlined a square with the pickaxe and began to dig. So his eldest son, Bayaji's eldest son, came with these instruments, tools to dig that new house construction. The eldest son was digging. The second was gathering the earth with his spade, and the others were lifting it away in baskets. They were doing the work. They began. again to build the house, to construct the house, which was collapsed. It was the wish of their father. They don't want to stop that because that was the situation in the village. What happened? It was kept in secret. Officials also gave the wrong report due to that Betamax lights that incident occurred. They gave that. But what was the reality? Old people knew that. The guests asked in amazement, "Children, you are in mourning." M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, mourning. It was sad. M-O-R-N-I-N-G, it was different. Mourning. You are in mourning. What is this you are doing? Guests asked the children. Our father's soul cannot rest in peace unless we do this. So they decided that their father's soul it would not be in rest unless they begin to build the house again. But what is that you are doing? They asked. That who came to that house, the people they are asking. We are starting on a house, not one with a concealed first floor, but a regular two-storied house. And replied the eldest son of Bayazi. And the 6 brothers resumed with determination the work of digging the foundation of a two-storied house. They started again the two-storied house. The brothers, 2 other brothers, the 6 brothers totally, they continued to to dig the foundation again, and that work they started. They don't want to stop. Now this time they wanted to build a two-storied house, not one-storied house. They wanted to build the two-storied house. That was a stronger determination they had. Why? Because they were insulted and they lost their father due to that enmity of the village people, and that are some are upper caste people. Also in that days that happened here and there. That story writer took that it is nothing but social discrimination. In those days it was shown in this story. You understood, I think, that children. So that was a great thing here given to you, how that Dalit people in villages that days they were treated, how bad they were treated. That was the situation. Now you see that children, some other meanings I'm going to read here. In the previous class we completed that the meanings swayed, ambience, that our environment, atmosphere, swayed, moved, and a few shelter or protection given to you. Frantic means wildly excited with pain or anxiety. Agony, great pain or suffering. Collapsed, fell down. Calamity, great and serious. Serious misfortune or disaster. Dampened, made sad or dull. This is a story, children. So we have to, you have to read it again. It is a good story. The story of the house, which was given by the writer. So you children, you see that next question and answers are also given to you. You read the question and answers, try to answer in short in your own. Let me see the next class.